Hi, you guys, and welcome to the Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. If you saw us over on TikTok, welcome. Come on in. The water's fine. We don't bite sometimes, okay? So we were discussing some other stuff on TikTok, and now we're here. This is the wrap up of all of the messy live streams of the week. Now, I've noticed in the comment sections of some of the videos, people were like, "Oh, I didn't know you're a reaction channel." I guess I am, right? This week I am. And we're just reacting to a lot of the kind of kerfuffle that we have been seeing on the internet. So we're just reacting. Does that make sense? Wow. This makes my arm look really fat, even though my arms are like really tiny. So we're just getting through all of the live stream mess that has been taking place across the internet. Now, yesterday, we were listening to a little bit of the Wiley show and a little bit of the kingpain's live, and I want to finish them out today because we got time. I got time today and got to be nowhere. Okay, and I already ate dinner, had a burger. It was terrible. So now that we're back, I wanted to circle back and I wanted to play an audio because if you guys remember, TashaK was alleging that Storm Monroe was alluding to the fact that when she was breastfeeding, it was turning him on and he wanted to sleep with her. I found the snippet of audio, so I want to play it back because I didn't remember him saying it like that. I think his words were just getting jumbled up. TashaK did state to her credit, she did state she did not listen to the live stream. So everything that she was getting was secondhand news. So we're going to just play the firsthand news so we can get all of it out in the open. But before we do that, let's see who's all up in the building. Okay, let's see who's all up in here. Hello, Brenna. Hello, Angela. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Amber. Hello, Phyllis. Hello, Sophie says, I'm here. Hello, Sheree. Hello, Auntie Tonisha. Hello, Mimi. Hello, Kamiko. Hello, R. Virgil. Hello, AC. Hello, Morgan. Says, hey, y'all. Hello, Quad. Hello, Anastasia. Hello, Tamika. Hello, Quanda. Hello, Sapphire. Hello, Lucky Lady. Hello, E. Ortiz. How you doing today? Let's see if anybody here's from Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, you guys. We got a new Facebook page. I put the link in the comments below. Follow us on Facebook. Y'all know that's where all the TB at. Hello, Rose Ellen. How you doing today? Hello, Binky. Hello, Rashida. Hello, Shay. Hello, Brandy. Hello, Blaze 106.91. How you doing today? Hello, Leah. Hello, AK. Hello, Ani Renee. How you doing today? Hello, Greer. Hello, Suli. Hello, Wu Child. Hello, Chocolate Bay. Hello, Cece. Hello, Half Crazy. Ooh, all y'all in the building today. Y'all must be bored and off work. Okay, let's get into it. Ain't nothing on today either. Hello, Armida. Hello, K Bay. Hello, Bo Lady. Hello, Double H. Hello, Angel. Hello, Morgan. Hello, Speaks Truth. Hello, Mrs. K. And hello, Shanwell. So if I missed you, I apologize. I want to get into this audio. Now, this audio, fair use, comes from Storm Monroe's live stream that took place on Friday. So we're going to listen to that so we can get it out in the open on what exactly was being said about TashaK's boobs, which again, I don't think people should be talking about her breast, regardless if she whips them out and feeds her baby. That's her and her baby's business. So here is the audio, and I found it. I want to play it. Let me turn it up. It's got to be near my mic, but this is where it's at if you want to listen to it to yourself. I pulled up the transcript. So here's the transcript. It's at 5305. And that's where the transcript is. So if you want to put that in the notes or in the comment section for other people to find it, it's on Storm Monroe's live video with Armand Wiggins and Larry King, Larry Reed, and it's at the 5305 mark. Okay, so let me hit play.
Tasha has nice breasts.
She look. I seen her titties many times.
How? She was
the breast
my
meat.
chef told me that.
Wow. I seen her titties many
Why would
times.
she take her titty out in front of another man she married?
Because she said, if you want to go to Africa, nigga, that's how it is. I ain't covering my baby. You cover your head when you eat. My baby ain't got to cover his head. So yeah, she would.
So that's exactly what he said. So if you did not hear that, let me read you the transcript, okay? Larry says Tasha has very nice boobs. He said, I've seen her boobs many times. That was from Storm Monroe. Larry says, wow, you've seen her boobs? He says, yeah, plenty of times. And then Storm Monroe says, and I quote, Tasha says, if you go to Africa, this is what they do. They're just going to whip their boobs out. And then she says that is how it is. You cover your baby to feed yourself. No, if you don't have to cover your baby to feed yourself, I'm sorry. If you don't have to cover yourself to feed yourself, I don't have to cover myself to feed my baby. Bam, that's what she said that she said. There is no indication that he said anything about when she whipped her boobs out, it turned me on and I wanted to have sex with her. He said, I would sleep with TashaK, but that is stated in the early mark at 52:48. That is what he said. He said, I would sleep with her because he admits that he likes to sleep with married couples, but it had nothing, it did not allude anything to her breast and seeing her breast and being turned on by her breast. So I hope that this kind of clears that up. Yeah, he never said anything like that. He basically said, I guess he was a little bit off put that she was whipping her boobs out. And Tasha was like, this is what they do in Africa. If you go to Africa, this is what they do. You don't got to cover yourself to eat. My baby doesn't have to cover themselves to eat. So it's just, and she's right. I'm not asking you to hide your face when you eat food. So why am I being going to hide their face when they eat food? She's absolutely correct. But that is the remark. So I want to make sure we just got that out there because then a lot of people are like confused, like, oh, he was turned on by. No, he wasn't. He never said he was. He just literally said, I've seen her boobs many times because she whipped them out to feed her child. Okay. So clear that up. Now let's finish out Kingpain's live stream first. Okay. With TashaK. Okay, I want to make sure we got that out first because it seemed like it was what's the word I'm looking for? It seemed like it was going to get bad, so somebody had to clear it up. Does that make sense? What live stream was TashaK in that I was watching, honey child? I can't even think. Which one is it? Lord. I can't remember which one I was watching. Oh God, which one was I watching? All the thumbnails look identical. It's hard to tell which one it is. Was it 2 days ago? Was it this one? No, it's not this one. Is it this one? It is. Oh, I found it. Okay. Who child? Okay. You a lie. Lord. I guess. Oh Lord. What? Okay. We're gonna have to. This is gonna be a long night. We got to get through these live streams so we can get on to the news on Monday. So let me go to the cigar vlogger. What's his name? Daryl Moore. Oh, he is live.
TashaK loses momentum. I said, well.
Okay. Whew. Guess she's been over here for 2 hours. Okay.
Okay. And what's your name? I'm sorry.
My name's Marcel.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I just automatically thought you knew who he was.
No.
This is Marcelo. Just
Things, but
I mean, if you want to ask me those questions, that's fine. I can give you what I know, you know.
Hold on. I got a little thing I got to put up. Hold on. Okay. I got to put this up, y'all. They be trying to come for me.
well, one of the things. Well, I mean, I don't really think you could answer them. I think the mother probably could have answered them a little bit better for me. Yeah, because I'm just coming from a different vantage point because I was entrenched in church culture, and I'm out of this institutional church, and I have been for quite some time.
Okay.
And so when I hear certain things, it sort of triggers certain things in me. But I know a lot of people on YouTube aren't familiar with the culture of church, so they don't understand how a woman could leave her child with a pastor or leader, and then go to a whole nother country, preach or pastor, and leave her child there. Because I've seen a lot of things and I've read a lot of things on this internet. People say, well, how can she do that? And I don't understand, and blah, 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 blah. Well, you don't understand because when we were raised in church, and Tasha, I heard you say that you come from, church background. We were taught not to question our leaders. That's not something we did. We believed that when our leaders spoke, that was the voice of God speaking. So we were taught that. We weren't.
I'm gonna we're 53 minutes in, so I'm gonna have to skate past this guy. Let's see if he stays on stage. Okay.
Through dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to deal with someone like that or character, because it could come in many different forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ignore. The more you ignore them, the louder they get. Because you're not giving them that energy that they need. See, Larry Reed is used to having a body, something to take in his energy, whether it's through voice, whether it's through just bodies touching one another, whether it's him inserting his penis into whatever. He is used, if you just get me in front of this person, you put me in front of an audience, I can tell them what I need them to hear, and they will feel me and they will understand. But the moment you cut off, you create a block between you and a narcissist or a manipulator or a pervert. They don't know how to work off of unlinked energy, which means they fear the unknown. That's why I haven't been announcing what I'm doing, because that's why he went to his Patreon for 5 hours and had that whole breakdown.
I guess you could equate it to the same thing, that is like, if he went to his Patreon, then what are you doing in these other very small bloggers live streams? You know, a year ago, you wouldn't be able, in my personal opinion, a year ago, you wouldn't even be able to catch TashaK on someone's live stream who had less than 1 million followers. So the fact that she's like canoodling with these very smaller bloggers, it's a testament to like what have happened to all her very large platformed friends. You know what I mean? So the same could be said about what TashaK is engaging in, right? If Larry did 1 5-hour live stream, you've done the equivalent of 10 hours of live streams across different platforms with other bloggers. And I suppose he could say the same, right?
Crying and trying to scramble together to figure this out, thinking that he can somehow use his gift, as he's been misusing his gift, to misuse and manipulate and continue to lie and just kind of waver in his narcissism. And so to deal with individuals like that, it's like the only way to get some level is to not let them have access to you or know what it is that you're feeling, even if you are scared, even if you are threatened. You don't ever let them know, or anybody know for that matter, what you are feeling, because once they get an inkling of energy, they'll take it, they'll bite onto it, and that's their way in.
That was going to be my next question to you. And dealing with this, you've had experience because you covered the R. Kelly story, which is a much larger situation. How do you insulate your family from being harassed and all those things? How were you able to?
That's a fantastic question, coming from an individual who was driving and showing up to Larry's home. I just find that so ironic, right? The person who was charged successfully with stalking and harassment is asking another person, how do you protect your family from stalkers? Twilight Zone.
Maintain that, because when a person can't attack you, they try to attack the people around you that they know you care about. How are you able?
I mean, that happened in my sister-in-law situation. Like her fans was like pulling up my sisters' pages, nephews, nieces, all that, and putting them in groups and talking shit about them. They just blocked them. Like, they don't worry about it. We were all cut from the same cloth. They know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about me and my family, like, we ain't never, ever, ever, ever worried about what a motherfucker gonna say they gonna do. Like,
true.
Like, we're from Panama City, Florida. That's the last thing we worried about. I mean, it doesn't even make us lose sleep.
Wow. I grew up about 2.5 miles from you.
Where are you from?
Tuskegee, Alabama. Right down I-29.
Yeah. So we neighbors. So yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother my family. My daughter's on social media. She sees everything that goes down. Her page is in her name, so she knows. Like, and it's all.
That is a fantastic question, right? Like, if this person must be really put out there. Most people just put it all out there for you to see. The fact that somebody turns it into a 10-part, 5-part, 8-part series, not to say that I'm not guilty of it. I put my series together based off of how much information I have at the time. So if I do a part 6, It's because I got a part 6, but I may not have a part 7, right? So yeah, it's a testament on, is it really about exposing him, or is it really about trickling it out, right? That's a real good question.
Cap. It's all cap. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I always say, you know, real gangsters move in silence, because gangsters ain't out here telling how much money they made, how many houses they got, how many cars they got.
To be fair, I'm not going to be fair. No, I'm not going to be fair. We just listened to a live stream yesterday of TashaK explaining that she has 7 employees who get paid anywhere between $40,000 and $100,000. If you ask me, that sounds like somebody who's discussing money. She also discussed that she has Kipi Studios, as well as an app and a website and very large social media platform. So I'm confused.
What their leadership is, who their mentor is. It's like they use these as their gun.
This individual, Daryl Moore, happens to be the first person to break the story. I don't know what year, you guys, 2021, maybe between 2019 and 2021. That's the best time frame I got for you on the story. He started off as a supporter and follower of Larry Reed, and then kind of broke off because of an apparent parasocial relationship that just didn't come to be.
It's like this is what they, the things that they acquire as their weapons, and once you tell me what your weapons are, I know what my defense is.
Okay.
And what's very disturbing, and I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna have to intercept him. I'm gonna have to interject him into my.
What are you confused about? Let us know, and we can help you out.
Series somehow. It's A.R. Bishop. Because him being a leader connected to so many other leaders and movements, and
I gotta go back.
And I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna have to intercept him. I'm gonna have to interject him into my series somehow. It's A.R. Bishop.
Who is A.R. Bishop? Does anyone know who that is? What's an OPK link? I don't know what that is. This from Kadra Powell says, but at the same time, TashaK's out here counting people's
Because him being a leader connected to so many other leaders and movements in the Black community, to
Larry's mentor,
support and outwardly support someone who knowingly admitted a crime against a minor.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you?
It's the part where she's not saying he allegedly committed this. She's just saying he committed a crime against her. Maybe, and here's my thing, to be fair to Tasha, maybe she's got some receipts. That is why she's so emboldened to not say allegedly. Do you say what I mean? Because she's very staunch about negating that word allegedly. So my question is, does she have receipts as to why she's not saying that?
Aware that these people went on his program and joked and laughed and said, it's not molestation, it's exploration, he, and everybody's peeking and cackling.
I am. I'm not going to tell you how it's going to be done or when it's going to be done.
Right. I get that.
Because it may not work. You know, it may take away from what Larry Reed did. But I'm just going to say this. Nobody ever better not come to me about A.R. Jordan. Because if they do, and when they do, it will be louder. And so, and that's a failure in itself. Someone who says that they're for the community and they protect, and I don't get it. You guys are
This sounds like, because, okay, here's my thing, right? I'm not a publicist, but if I were a publicist, I would tell you what kind of strategy this is, right? So the people with these smaller followings have followers, right? Who watch their shows, who tune in, who super chat, whatever, right? Who subscribe. The people who follow Daryl Moore, the people who follow King Jive, the people who follow the Wiley show, follow them as a tried and true audience. So instead of trying to go to very large platforms to get their followers, which is hard to do, it's easier to go to in my head, this would be her strategy. It's easier to go to tinier bloggers with decent sized followings and swallow them up. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? So if this one has 40,000 followers, this one has 100,000 followers, this one has, 200,000 followers, go to each of their platforms, grace them with your presence, which is going to boost their live stream up immensely. Got it? And then sow seeds of doubt, all while swallowing up their audience. And now you've graced that person with your presence. You gave them free views, right? These shows that wouldn't be able to hold 1,000 views are now getting 8, 9, 10, 15, 20,000 views for one video simply because TashaK showed up. And now you're indebted to her. You understand what I mean? Now you owe her. So you gonna give her your followers are gonna eat up what she says by the spoonful, which in turn grows her following. It's very strategic. It's like she's playing the long game. You hear me? But it's a little bit difficult because who Larry has aligned himself with, right? Have massive followings. So every time TashaK befriends a smaller creator, she's got to befriend at least 10 small creators to even match up to Armand Wiggins, right? And his large platform. She's got to match up with at least 7 mid-sized creators to match up to Conscious TV and Storm Monroe. So she's got a lot of work to do by swallowing up the tinier creators. You understand what I mean? Because Larry got the big hitters behind him. It's a football game, essentially.
Black men, and you're not protecting our community. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very disturbing. So maybe I'm just letting my anger get to me because I'm like, this is why Reverend Al Sharpton would never. Like, we can say a lot of shit about Reverend Al Sharpton, but one thing he will never do is support someone like Larry Reid outwardly.
I want to get something clear while you're here.
Okay.
You have, so that the whole world can know, Rick, stop lying. You have never hired me to do anything, have you?
No.
You didn't even know I existed until my name was brought to you, correct?
Correct.
I've never tried to hire you or partner with you on anything, have I?
Ever.
That line of questioning that he's giving her literally makes no sense. If it wouldn't have mattered if you tried to partner with Tasha 6 months ago, you partnered with her. Tasha didn't pull Levante Adams' name out of the sky and bing, bang, boom, his phone number just landed in her lap. Someone gave her his phone number. So regardless of him putting in that disclaimer, like, we never partnered up, I'm trying not to get angry. You're partnering up now. Or is this an attempt to gaslight your audience? You're literally partnering up. She's with you now. If you didn't have communication with her, how does she make her way to your live stream? Help me. This doesn't make any sense. Did I partner up with you? Did you, negating the pay, right? I don't think TashaK paid him. But did I partner up with you, TashaK? No, you didn't partner with me. How did you get here? You were ice skating across YouTube and found him. How did you get here? It's like, It's like they're gaslight.
But that's the lie that's being told.
Well, let them lie.
That's the lie that's being told. How did she get in your live stream? Did she go to Make-A-Wish Foundation and say, I sure wish that Daryl Moore would let me in his live stream? Are they serious?
Yeah.
It's what you. It's what. And right now, the receipts right now is proving that Lavondre Andrews is not lying and never has lied.
Because
They can say whatever they want to say. With this.
That's not what he said. So I'll rewind it for you. You said he's asking her to dispel the rumors that Daryl has been paid by Tasha for his information on the accusers. Let me rewind it for you. Okay.
Disturbing. So
Listen.
maybe I'm just letting my anger get to me because I'm like, this is why Reverend Al Sharpton would never. Like, we can say a lot of shit about Reverend Al Sharpton, but one thing he will never do is support someone like Larry Reid outwardly.
I want to get something clear while you're here.
Okay.
You have, so that the whole world can know, Rick, stop lying. You have never hired me to do anything, have you?
No.
We're going to move that question out the way because I don't believe she hired him. Okay. We're going to move that question out the way. Listen.
You didn't even know I existed until my name was brought to you, correct?
He said, you didn't know that I existed until my name was brought to you, correct? Now we know that's a lie because Larry showed the text messages where Tasha said, I heard all this stuff coming out about you by this blogger. You need to sue him if he's lying. So we know that's a lie, but we're going to keep going.
Correct.
I've never tried to hire you or partner with you on anything, have I?
He said, I never tried to hire you or partner with you on anything. That last statement, I never tried to partner with you on anything. So just negate the pay. I never tried to partner with you on anything. We know that's a lie, right? Because she's sitting right here. It's that old adage from Fahrenheit 451. Don't believe your lying eyes. It's what people tell you when they're gaslighting you. You saw that? You didn't see it. You didn't see it. We know that makes no sense because she's sitting right here. So regardless of the money aspect, right? Move that to the side. He wants her to confirm that they don't work together. She's sitting right here. Your lying eyes are telling you the truth. They are working together because how did she get here? I promise you, she wasn't tap dancing across the YouTube streets and saw this man. She's had a relationship with him in order to get the details of the story, get Lavondre's information, get the information from the other alleged accusers, and so on and so forth. We know that she has a relationship with him because she's sitting right here. So the question makes no sense. Did I partner with you? Yeah. If I was Tasha, I'd be like, yeah, you partnered with me. I'm sitting right here. You don't see me right here? You don't hear me? I'm sitting right here, player. So that is what is being said. That is a literal gaslighting of their entire audience right in front of their face. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, because I'm looking at the screen like, she right here.
But that's the lie that's being told.
Well, let them lie.
Yeah.
It's what you. It's what you. And right now, the receipts right now is proving that Lavondre Andrews is not lying and never has lied.
Because
they can say whatever they want to say. This person's. Oh, okay, what does that have to do with Lavondre Andrews coming into your room and you inappropriately admitting on your Patreon that you had inappropriate conversations because he was curious about your lifestyle, particularly with men, and then you realized you had spoke too much and talked too much, and then it became an obsession, and you didn't know that you were being looked at as a father figure or a leader, and so you had to break things up.
I thought so too. I guess he's playing with the legal side, which I don't play with the legal system. I'll play with you. I'll play with your mama. I even play with your daddy. What I'm not gonna do is play with Swift Justice herself. I don't play like that. I don't play like that. I do not play like that. I do not play like that.
What does that have to do with any of that?
I agree. Well, y'all.
Well, it's always the peripheral stuff that people discuss that have nothing to do. And that's what I call mud. You're throwing mud on things to murky the water so people can't see clearly or think clearly. And in this situation, for the last 2 years, there's been nothing but mud thrown at this. And Daryl and I have definitely tried to bring some clarity to all of this and to give people an opportunity to see clear through all of it.
Which is understandable, right? So if they were trying to make a claim of this going on, to me personally, right? It may not be to you guys, but to me personally, I feel like there are a amount of holes that have not been explained. The only question I would have is, oh, I actually have a couple questions. So my first question to Levantre is, did you graduate from high school? And if so, can I see your high school diploma? You're probably wondering, what does that have to do with anything? It has a lot to do with it. It has a lot to do with it, right? If he graduated from middle school, I would ask him, can I see your middle school graduation? I would like to see that. I would like to see your middle school transcripts. I wouldn't even sit down and talk to him unless I saw those transcripts. Do you want to know why? Because those transcripts are going to corroborate where his location was. All schools in the United States do not just allow you to just flip-flop in between different cities and counties to go to school. Now, some do, right? They have like those school-free zones where you can, within your city limits, you can go to any school and you don't have to do it based off of proximity. So that the first thing I would ask Levantre is, where did you go to middle school? And can you corroborate that? Because I want to know what city you went to middle school in. If he's alleging that he was touched by Larry by the age of 14, he is in middle school. So understanding where he went to middle school is going to be key in understanding his approximation to Larry Reed. So if nobody's, to me personally, if nobody's asking Levantre where he went to school, where he went to high school, and where he went to middle school, and if he did finish his education and graduated, to me the story is, it's just at that point it's a wash, because it's like y'all not even trying to track down where this boy was. There are too many people across the internet saying that he missed a number of days of school, and the first thing as an interviewer you should ask him is, where did you attend school? Larry stated that he was in another city. So if his school, right, if he alleges like, oh, I went to Broward, elementary or middle school, and Broward Elementary School is an hour, 2 hours away from Larry's church city, I'd have a problem. I'd have a big fat problem with Levantre's story. Because how is a 14-year-old getting 2-3 hours away to go see a pastor? That'd be my first case. And how did your mama not know? So that'd be my first instance. The fact that I have yet to hear anyone discuss Levantre's high school and middle school, where he was physically living, and what city they left and then moved to. The fact that I have yet to hear that, and we on day whatever, I'm having a hard time, and I'm fingers crossed that TashaK puts this story together and it makes sense, because there's a lot of Swiss cheese stories. The next set of questions I would ask him is to describe the house in question, because I have a hard time believing a 14-year-old in middle school is somehow canoodling with a pastor in a city hours away, okay, and no one knew about it. Except the pastor says, I didn't know him until he was 17, but he is claiming as a 14-year-old, you were in proximation with this pastor. I need to know what city you were in, because they doing all this talking on the internet. And none of that ain't got to do with nothing. What city was you in? It's like no one wants to ask him that. What city was you in, Levantre? What city were you in when this occurred? And it's like no one wants to get around to that. And I'm curious as to why. So with this series with TashaK, we're not getting those key questions. We're not getting those key questions. What city were you in when it occurred? What did the house look like? What middle school did you attend? And what high school did you attend? And what were the years of graduation? I would need both of those before I would even sit down with someone making claims like that, because those claims could ruin someone's life. So you got to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. You understand what I mean?
I just want to say, we do appreciate all of the vloggers who support Daryl and who have came out and, just said thank you to him and so forth. So again, I look at you guys, especially you successful vloggers such as yourself, because you guys are on a whole nother level. So you guys are way on a whole nother level. Now, I'll tell you this, Tasha. One of the things that I'm thinking about as I sit here and I listen to you, and this is a question from me to you. Now, you may not want to answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And this is
this opportunity.
Because we talk behind the scenes, but we don't,
Get to the question.
Tasha, it seems like every relationship that these bloggers have. Now, I know you always run around to like you don't have friends, and I've gotten to the place now, and I told Daryl.
That's correct, Shar, but at the age of 17, not at 14. That's at the age of 17. That's what Larry admitted.
We don't have no friends. We don't need no new friends. This whole thing about friendship on the internet. I'm good on that. But it seems like every single one of you guys fall out with each other, but then yet and still, months later, you guys seem to be working together again, or you're supporting one another again. And I'm just confused as to.
That has nothing to do with me.
But I'm saying, but you guys tend to come back together at some point in time, right?
No, we did not. Who have I came back together with?
I mean, as far as like you got, well, I don't name their names. You know me. I don't call them names.
You can say whoever name you want to say. But there's no linking or coming back together with anyone.
So when you go on their platforms and you speak on their platforms, do you feel like that's offering support or linking up with them in any kind of way? You don't feel that that's linking with them anyway?
No, because we're talking about Levante Andrews. That's the main. That's all it's ever been about. You don't see me over there kicking and doing all of that. If there's something more important at hand that's bigger than me, and they have an audience that they're listening, that is very interested in helping and encouraging and supporting, then I'm gonna that viewership. It has nothing to do with that blogger. And so I was coming into the blogger game, like, you got coworkers, in a building and you work.
It just seemed like she was trying to avoid that question. She stated that she doesn't key. Based on our live reactions, she sounded like she was keying with Kingpain and Mr. Wiley.
In corporate America. And you develop, out of work relationships with them. And some of you don't. Some of you just talk to all the time, but they're not necessarily people that you would want.
Probably at home. I don't think he's in hiding. I think he's just waiting for the rest of the series to come out before he talks, which is totally normal.
To get to know, or you're just kind of put in a facility and you got to talk to these people. You got to learn.
Right.
People.
This from Kelly Gee says Larry's a liar. He first stated he didn't know Levante. I've seen this play out from the beginning. Daryl is not a liar. Believe the victim. We always believe the victim. So you might be new here. So we always believe the victim. That's what the Me Too movement taught us, to believe the victim and then investigate. Currently in our legal system, most officers or prosecutors simply just decide without the law of justice for the victim to just disregard the victim without prosecuting or investigating their story. No, you always believe the victim, but then you investigate. Daryl Moore has such a lengthy, questionable practice at which he was investigating the story. And when I say lengthy and questionable, I mean showing up to someone's house unannounced. That seems evasive, and it seems inappropriate if you're simply just trying to get the story out there. So I think him showing up to Larry's house numerous occasions and being convicted of stalking kind of really murkied up his investigation. Not to say that Levante is lying, right? Because again, we believe the victim, but we have to investigate. There are a number of holes in this story, including the age, the fact that he stated that he was allegedly assaulted in a house that didn't exist. And I'm wondering if TashaK in her series is going to put them all together.
That's just what it is. It's just coexisting. It has nothing to do with friendship or anything beyond that. I don't owe them shit. They've never been around me or met my family. And it's always been working. And that's how it was with Larry. I mean, Larry, yeah.
So she's saying the same thing, basically, like, what's a friend? She stated that yesterday on the Wiley show when Mr. Wiley asked her about the nature of her friendship with Larry, Armand, and Storm Monroe. And here again, she's doing the same thing. Like, these are not my friends; these are simply coworkers. So she's very disregarding of their friendship. And it does make a testament, right, to Larry's defense. He did say that he was more of a friend than TashaK. And then when you hear from her own mouth her say, "What's a friend?" it means that he might have been investing more into their friendship than they would know, possibly. But again, that is to his and her defense.
Have some personal conversations with me, but we never like went out to dinner or hung out at each other's houses. If I was at his house, I was doing a show and I came home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and my husband never felt comfortable around them niggas anyway.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's like we gotta go. Like they feeding cake to each other and fucking rubbing on each other. Like his thing is like it just became too, you know, Larry getting over
too much.
Like too much. Like imagine he was.
What she's trying to say in too many words is that being around them, they were over sexualized. Now that's a thing. Some people like myself, I'm not comfortable with people being over sexualized. I know that's how some friends are. They're like, oh, you know, give me a kiss, da 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 da, you know, squeezing and rubbing each other's hips and stuff. That's fine. And I'm with TashaK. To Tasha's defense, I guess this is like their defense, right? In Tasha's defense, I would understand that too. Most people are not comfortable around people who have a very sexualized friendship, which is totally understandable. But in Larry and Armand and Storm Monroe's defense, that can come across as homophobic. It can, even though the only one who is an out of the closet gay man is Armand Wiggins, right? Larry, I think he said he was pansexual, and Armand says he just sleeps with married couples. Okay, he said he's just a freak. So to their defense, it can come across quite homophobic, but in Tasha's defense, nobody really wants to be around shit like that. I don't want to see shit like that. So I don't blame her, okay?
If it was a bunch of women and they was bending over in front of him or doing extra, he'd be like, we gotta fucking go. So it ain't got nothing to do with them being gay. It's just the unnecessary acts. And I'm a public figure, he's not, but you know, people would try to put you in some situations to where they can just say, so he's always been very like, all right, do the work, let's go home. That's it. Mm-hmm. So that's how it's always been. And so, you know, but as far as like, you know, us linking up, no, I say.
Well, let me tell you why I'm asking that.
Because he lost that lawsuit against Larry Reed when the judge told them to not discuss each other or anything in regards to each other on each other's social media platforms. If they were to violate that, then they would be in contempt of court, and that is why he is allegedly in contempt of court, because he is discussing Larry Reed on his platform.
Okay, well, let me tell you why I'm asking.
YouTube, okay.
Okay. From what I understand, there was a vlogger that I was watching, I believe, and he's been a good supporter of Daryl in this situation. I think his name is Kingpain. Now, I'm going to mention him because I know he's been supporting Daryl.
That's from the criminal complaint. You can actually look it up. I guess you could just DM me on Instagram. I'll send you a copy of it. Okay. I actually have a copy of it. I can send it to you.
Mm-hmm. He reported that there was a phone call that you had with Larry Reed.
Yeah, the house that didn't exist. So if you're familiar with the story, you would understand that Levante has made claims of alleged sexual assault in a house that wasn't quite built yet. So in the big, like, you know, Swiss cheese of his story, right, that needs to be filled, in the big Swiss cheese of his story, a lot of people are wondering in TashaK's series, is she going to explain the fact that Levante stated he was sexually assaulted in a house that was not built yet? So she probably will find a way to explain it. I'm very curious to see how she's going to do so. And there could be a very legitimate reason for it. Again, but that's one of the Swiss cheeses in his story.
Sorry. With the individual or the vlogger, well, I can say his name, but anyway. The vlogger, and I guess there was 2 other vloggers. If I'm not mistaken, it was him and 2 other vloggers.
Let me tell you what you're talking about. You're talking about official kingpain.
This too much. Girl. We're almost done.
We're talking about Larry Reed, our mom and me. All this,
right?
Larry Reed.
Right. And now the question that I had was, my understanding is that you and the Armand.
No, that's true. That is true. Desiree, you're right. With such intense trauma, who can remember all the details? You're not required to deliver all the details, except in the case when you come forward with your story. When you come forward with your story, you're going to have to get your details together. You can't mince them and blame it on trauma. You either going to give all the details and help put the story together, because when you put out a story that looks like Swiss cheese instead of Gouda, you're going to have a problem when it comes to PR. You're going to have a problem when it comes to people asking those questions, and you have to be prepared to answer them. So it would make no sense if he just kept this together privately with his, the law enforcement and his therapist and his family. But when you bring that story to the forefront, right now it belongs to the audience, and we are the observable audience. And we have the right, because he brought his story to the observable audience, we have every right to ask those questions, right? In order to formulate our opinion.
Well, don't get along or have some sort of relationship. There's like a public, going back and forth between the 2 of you.
Have you seen me go back and forth with her?
I don't know, ma'am. I don't watch the channel. I don't know. I'm just asking.
But you're bringing it up, though. So you're stating stuff. I'm not trying to be rude, but you just said there's this public, y'all go back and forth. And I'm like, have you seen me go back?
Well, okay. I apologize because I'm listening to some of the other stuff that's being stated. That's why I'm asking you the question, and I'm taking the opportunity that I have now to ask you the question. So apparently, other people say
she got a bit defensive. I'm curious.
You guys have a public going back and forth. You say there's no back and forth.
What does this got to do with Levante?
Well, I'm gonna ask the question.
She seems a little agitated. Now I understand, right? Like, what does this have to do with Levante? A lot. It has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? It has a lot.
And here's what it has to do with it. If you all are having discussions behind the scenes, and there was information that was presented to you behind the scenes regarding, this, and some people are saying, that you might have known about the situation. I don't believe that is the case. But do you think that it can jade the public, or the public will be jaded if they feel like that there are behind the scenes conversations that are being had about this, but in the public, there's a different kind of presentation that is being made to the public? So on the one hand, they think that, you guys are talking behind the scenes, but in the public, you guys are coming out and saying something totally different.
Where did you get that we were having behind the scenes conversations about Levante Andrews?
Well, more specific, when I say conversations, as I mentioned, I first started off in the conversation, the kingpain fellow said you, him, and the other 2 vloggers was on a phone call. I don't know exactly what that phone
call that had nothing to do with Levante Andrews.
Okay, well, we'll stick to Levante Andrews. All right, I'm sorry. I thought it had something to do with the overarching issue that we're dealing with. So maybe I misunderstood.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with, what it had to do with is why me and Larry fell out.
Okay.
Oh, well, that ain't got nothing to do with that.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with Daryl or Levante.
I got you.
It had nothing to do with Larry.
Somebody goes by the name of Mad Church Disease. I've never heard of him before, but he's the one who's asking the questions to Tasha.
Buying things that he's doing, and buying gifts, tricking.
This is his live right now. It's not today. This is occurring right now.
It was a bunch of shit. So him trying to
a little bit
say that, I'm mad over this. There was a phone call that was between me and 3 other vloggers, and the only reason we were in that phone call is because Larry had lied to each and every one of us, and we all confronted him.
Okay.
So
Well,
he was playing the fence, knowing that we did not.
Right. Well, I don't pay attention
that
to
has
all of these people. So I apologize. I listen. I randomly go to these videos to watch. I don't pay attention. I get a little bit of information from here and there, and I'm just trying to connect the dots. So I apologize if that seemed to bother you or annoy you, but that's just my question.
Yeah, I'm annoyed because like you asked me like you assume something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this from Greatness says TashaK is acting like questions can't be asked for clarity. What is that? I don't know. I suppose she just wanted to now to her defense. This is like live stream court. Okay, this is live stream court because to Tasha's defense, she only came to talk about Levantre. She didn't even seem to talk about that other stuff. In the mad church disease defense, what he was stating, and I'm going to try to clarify what he was stating the best that I can. He was stating that there was so much going on, and it seems like the story is now surrounded by, instead of Levantre, TashaK and her beef with Larry Reed. So Tasha's annoyed. She seems slightly annoyed. And to her defense, I'd be too. So she's slightly annoyed by that question because she's like, this is about Levantre. But the mad church disease is saying, but it seems as though you and Larry's beef have taken the proverbial spotlight, right? The proverbial spotlight on the whole situation. And so he was asking, like, essentially, do you think that's going to be a detriment to the storytelling? And she was just saying, let's get back to Levantre. So to her defense and to his defense. Got it? Good.
I'm not being rude to you, but I'm just telling you why I'm annoyed, because this is what often happens too many times in the public is like, instead of y'all saying, oh, I've seen Tasha go back and forth with Armand, you'll take it from another blogger and not.
This is from, is it Embra Coleman? Hello, Embra says, grooming is real and the person uses your trauma and childhood weaknesses so they can use you. Levantre didn't have his dad around and Larry knew that. Now, it seems like you probably formed your own opinions on this. I would reserve your conclusion until Tasha releases the rest of her series, and then Larry possibly releases the rest of his receipts. So reserve your opinions for a little bit later, but you're absolutely correct. Grooming does happen when you take advantage of someone's weakness. It doesn't always have to be with a child. A person who is 40 years old could be grooming a 25-year-old girl knowing she's a broke college student, right? It happens. So grooming can occur at any age. I just want y'all to know that grooming can occur at any age. It's not just children. It's just very prevalent in children and adult predators, but it can happen at any age. Sugar babies, sugar mamas, all those things are real because the person with the money and the access are taking advantage of the other person, whether it be at age or youngness or, they're just being a broke college kid. So you're absolutely correct on that. What I don't agree with is Larry Reed taking advantage of Levantre's childhood trauma, because again, I don't know the full story to agree with that. Okay, but I do agree with the rest of what you have said.
Well, that's why I asked the question, but it gives me the opportunity to get it cleared up.
I am a click for Armand, and he beefs with himself. Okay, so and that's how it's always been. And
I'm glad you answered the question. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay,
that's why you ask questions, so you get clear things.
Because I don't like getting secondhand information, but that's over there, and I'm glad you're here. Now, one thing I wanted to say to you, and I want to take good advantage of this opportunity. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again here. I appreciate the fact that you apologized to me. And this is why. You are the only person to this day that has apologized to me about anything as it pertains to this matter. And for that, I'm very appreciative.
Sean David Wade just offered not an apology, but basically he gave you props.
Oh, okay. Well, I got to go and look, see who that is.
Yeah.
See, we don't need to know who you.
Yeah, a lot of bloggers have been watching what you were doing, but because Larry ended up controlling the narrative with his wallet, it kind of got buried, and people just assumed that because all the videos and stuff came down, that's what it was. And people misuse, and if anybody can tell this, people misuse the legal system all the time.
I know that's interesting, right? Why is the focus on accusations and not Larry's receipts? I do not know. I don't know. And I like that you asked that, Queen Renee. I'm having a really hard time with that. And I'm just fingers crossed that in the rest of TashaK's series that we are able to see her put the full story together, right? Because TashaK has every right in her defense here on the messy TikTok streets court, okay? In TashaK's defense, she has every right to take the time to tell this story. Every right, okay? So fingers crossed that she is putting the story together and it does answer those questions. I have questions. I know y'all got questions. I'm sure everybody got questions. But my questions, let's get back to my questions, okay? My question is, where did Levante go to middle school and where did he go to high school? And did he complete both of those grade levels? Did he complete 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and his 12th grade year? That is my question. 2, and what city are they located in? Because it's going to make a lot of sense when TashaK tells, if she does get to that portion of the story, and she tells those stories, so we can see how the meetup began. Does that make sense, right? So if we can find out where Levante, if Levante tells TashaK and she goes into her story in depth to find out this is where he went to middle school, and look at the proximity to Larry's church, he was right there. That is going to kind of like solidify that portion of the story for me. The next thing in her story, right? Because Levante claimed that he was SA'd at a home that didn't exist. So one of my questions is she going to ask Levante to describe the home? Now, yesterday when we was dog walking Sharon Boxley, she was trying to give us a gotcha question, like Larry's wife said there was an abandoned home on that lot. Without having a understanding of how cities work, Miss Sharon Boxley didn't quite understand that Larry never disclose whether he had that house ripped down because, again, it's expensive, or if the county had it ripped down and he and his wife purchased the land. The only thing Larry's wife stated was that when she saw the property, it was a dilapidated home on it, and then it was cleared out, and then they built a home. But Larry's ex-wife never stated that they lived in that abandoned home. She said Larry showed her the abandoned home. And like men, every time they buy something they shouldn't be buying, it's like, look, just give it 10 months. I'm going to tear it down. And that's going to be a beautiful home. We're going to build from the ground up. So he was trying to prep his wife into seeing something his wife sounded like she didn't see. Like she sounded like she didn't see what Larry was trying to offer her. Okay. But that's to that defense. So I'm curious if TashaK is going to get down to those nitty. Those are just my questions, right? She may not get to them, but those are my questions.
Mm-hmm. All the time. And while I'm not inclined to really, unravel what I'm trying to say here is that, people with long money know how to maneuver certain things to get certain things done. And they use the legal system to suppress the truth. A lot of times when these people bring these lawsuits, it's because there is something true that has happened. Mm-hmm. And 99% of times, they even teach this in law.
What do you mean scheme and preserve? Do you have to explain what that means?
Text that
if content creators are giving you content behind a paywall, that's not a scheme. That's just how they pay the rent.
About whether it's true or not. It's about what you can prove. And if they can prove that they were right, even though they were wrong, then something goes through. A verdict stands. People.
Yes, I got to get through the live streams of this weekend, but next week we're going to get to the news and the receipts of CTV because he's got a lot and I want to go over them. Okay. Sorry, y'all. What? This Alexa gets on my nerves. It just makes sounds and just expects me to know what it is. Yeah, we're going to get to CTV's receipts. We just got to get through this weekend's live streams. There was a lot.
Suppress evidence, withhold evidence, just they find ways to keep evidence out. And in your case, this is one of those cases, like where you were bullied using the court system to stand down and you had to waver the towel. It wasn't about facts. It was about who got the longest money. And I remember having a conversation with him about that. I'm like, well, if he ain't got no money, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. You gonna get him to shut up. I literally said that to Larry. And then I think back on that and I'm just like, damn, like what did I do? Because all this time I never bothered to come look at one of your videos. I never bothered to come Listen, I just took his word for it because he brought it to me. He seemed very disturbed about it. And I gave him what I would do because I don't play about when it comes to children and sexual assault. And I should have questioned myself too. Like, why would somebody just make up sexual assault allegations and molestation? Like, I should have questioned that, but because I was worried about my own stuff and I really didn't give a shit about what was going on. I was just kind of offering him what I would do in a situation. I felt like I was responsible for this, and that's why I said I'm going to apologize to you, and there's going to be some stuff done behind the scenes to where we could help you out and figure out how to fix this. And so, you know, it's just that's just what it boils down to in your case. It didn't have anything to do with the facts, because the facts were told wrong, even up until Levantre's lawsuit that he filed. You know, 13 pages. What blogger went to pull 13 pages and read them? Nobody, not one blogger did this. I am probably one of the only people will sit through. Like the deposition you just sent me. I'm reading that deposition line by line, screenshotting, boom, key points about the deposition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like.
Now, I didn't know Levantre filed a lawsuit. And if he did, where is it? I wonder if it was dismissed in the clerk of courts. If he didn't file it properly, and you know how they'll send it back. So she's saying that he filed one, but I never knew one was filed. And I wouldn't even know where to look. Now, I thought he was a resident of North Carolina, but apparently he's a resident of Georgia. And some people say that he's a resident of Florida. So if he did file it, where did he file it? And so when TashaK says that no one read his court filings, Levantre has never come forward with them for people to find them. Does that make sense? It would be like looking for a needle in a haystack in every single clerk of courts in all of the United States. I never ever seen Levantre say, I filed a legal case against Larry Reed. And if so, where is it? This from CR says he didn't file. I think he responded 39 something pages to Larry's 13. I never seen that. Does somebody got a copy? Can I see it? I'd love to read it.
It's rare that you see that. And that's why a lot of people don't go far in this, because like when you come with something like this, you have to come with everything. And people will try to use law text in order to suppress.
Got you. So that's what she meant. She meant his reply to Larry. Got you.
Manipulate. And that's just another form of bullying, harassing, and manipulation. And that's what he did in your case. And so, like I said, I welcome anything that he tries to do, whether he got 7 lawyers, 10 lawyers. Because see, here's the thing. That lawsuit that I was in, that was my first lawsuit. And the blessing behind the first lawsuit, you know what the blessing is? The blessing is in the failure. The blessing is in the loss. The blessing is in the mistakes. The blessing is in everything that went wrong. Like, I couldn't ask for a better verdict, because the knowledge that I got from that, being in it with such a high profile figure, that will never happen again.
She's right. To Tasha's defense, she's right. You do learn a lot by getting entangled in the legal system, so you learn how to not make those same mistakes again. Because if TashaK does get sued again, instead of getting the attorney that she might have had prior, she might end up getting a tort or negligent attorney, someone who's skilled at trial. So she's right about that. You know, you learn the first time, you've learned in your first rodeo not to get sued. And when you do get sued, you kind of learn all the tricks of the trade. So in TashaK's defense, she's correct, whether it cost her $4 million or not.
That will never happen again. Not me not going to court, because Kiwi Studios go to court. That's just what it is. Kiwi Studios, you sue me, we're going to court. Ain't no mediation. None of that. We're going to court. We're going before a jury. That's just what it's going to be. And that's with anybody. This is going to be how we operate until our company.
No, it's not. You can file bankruptcy anytime, y'all. It's the legal way out, okay? But a judge can determine if you're using the bankruptcy court to obfuscate real debt that you really owe, right? So one thing is like medical debt. It's like, hey, you ain't got it, okay? It's another thing to be like, hey, you got the car, but you can't pay the loan, you just ain't got it. But if you just got sued for whatever amount of money, let's say Larry does sue her and he wins, and it's a $1 million judgment, and then she goes to file bankruptcy a week later, there's going to be like, oh, you just trying to file because you ain't got it. You understand what I mean? So I'll wipe away the rest of your debt, but you're going to pay that $1 million. And a judge has every right in bankruptcy court to do that. Every single right. Every right. So you don't want to play around with you don't want to go into bankruptcy court thinking that a judge is stupid, because the last thing you want a judge to think is you think he's a dummy. And they've seen, remember, they're bankruptcy judges. They're bankruptcy judges. They've seen every trick of the trade, baby. They've seen people hide money in the Swiss Alps. They've seen people hide money in the Bahamas. They've seen people hide money in the Seychelles Islands. They've seen people hide money in Israel and in Barbados. They've seen people hide money all over the goddamn place. So if you think you're going to go into a federal court with a bankruptcy judge and think you're going to hide some money or try to use that judge to not pay a debt, he gonna bring you a new one. He ain't the one to play. So I don't think she's going to file bankruptcy. And if she does, there's no guarantee that the judge won't be like, oh yeah, I'll make sure we wipe away your credit card debt and all that other stuff. But that judgment, the summary judgment, no, you're going to pay that. So you don't want to go in there. You know what I mean? You just don't want to go in there doing that
for centuries for our company. Okay, that's just what it's going to be. There ain't going to be no settlements.
Anywhere.
There ain't going to be no talk of no settlements. There ain't going to be no mediation. There ain't going to be all out of money. It ain't going to be none of that. It's going to be, you filed this. The only way it's going to go away is if you hit that dismissal.
Now, I did watch it. So I realized that I have to watch a lot of, now this one I didn't watch, but I do realize that I had to watch a lot of these before I can do the playback, because the way that I analyze information, it takes me a little bit of time. So by playing it, listening to it and playing it back, it makes it easier to figure out what's going on. But yeah, we can totally listen to it. As soon as he brings it to this app, I can't listen to something that's behind a paywall because I can get hit with a copyright infringement. So I would have to wait till it's here. And I think it's already here on YouTube, because I think that's how I listen to it. At least somebody ripped it. Okay. So yes, we can review that too. But first, next week, I want to get to CTV, because CTV is pumping out a lot of videos and y'all keep saying it's got a lot of receipts. And I've only heard of the receipts in passing. And I did go to CTV's live stream. Somebody said he shouted me out. Shout out to you, CTV. Somebody said he shouted me out. But I fell asleep, honey. So if he was showing receipts, I'm going to have to go back again and watch those again.
Other than that, we going all the way to the white.
He did say that. He did say he's going to sue her because she said she called him a predator, and she didn't say allegedly, and she made a very vehement response to it. So in his live stream with Armand Wiggins and Storm Monroe, he did state, yes, I am suing TashaK.
I'm sorry, I made it laugh, but that was funny to me because I'd be talking like that.
That's what it's going to be. So like, people understand. Like, look, humiliation is one of the best teachers ever. And even Larry could take something from this public humiliation. But because his narcissism is so embedded, he's been used to playing, but he doesn't understand, like, dude.
Oh, here, follow us on Facebook. I'm gonna play that back.
Humiliation is one of the best teachers ever. And even Larry could take something from this public humiliation.
Oof. What this is if you will. In Tasha's defense, what this is supposed to be is a calling out of predatory behavior. In Larry's defense, what she said it was is a public humiliation, almost like being tarred and feathered. This is not what that is. If someone is being thoroughly accused of child SA, that is not a public humiliation. That is a call out for justice. So I find it very strange that she would label this a public humiliation. Because what is it then? If it's for justice, then you would want him to go to jail. If it's public humiliation, all you want Larry to do is just get embarrassed.
Because his narcissism is so embedded, he's been used to playing, but he doesn't understand, like, dude, like, I was raised by a narcissist. I was molested by a narcissist. I know how people like you think.
She said, I was raised by a narcissist. And then she said, I was molested by a narcissist. I want her to know that only a narcissist can make another narcissist. They can't make anything else. They can't. It's biologically impossible for two narcissists to be able to raise an empath. It's not possible. And you don't got to argue with me. Go argue with Dr. Ramani over on Narc YouTube, okay? They call her the Narc Doctor. She's the king of kings when it comes to narcissism and narcissistic research. She's a board certified clinical psychologist. So if you're openly admitting that your mother and father are narcissists, that's not a good look on what it is they've created. And that is in psychology's defense.
And I just, like I said, I ain't even dropped the second episode and he went to singing. Just singing. I hit download. Shout out to official kingpain because he grabbed the live before he was able to lock it and try to take it down.
Shout out to kingpain.
Every single thing that he says is on download. It's on download. The inconsistency.
Where'd you post that? Can you just send it to me?
The dates. All that stuff, the confessions, him admitting to having inappropriate conversations. He admits everything except for going like this to him.
Admitting to having inappropriate conversations with someone, admitting whatever else that TashaK is admitting. In Larry's defense, that's not admitting to sexual assault, which means you cannot call him a sexual predator without saying an alleged sexual predator to an alleged victim. So because someone alludes to something doesn't obfuscate the legal parameters by calling someone a straight up predator. So that's in the defense of legality. There's so many people at play. Everyone's got a defense today.
Like, so I'm just telling you, like, people don't understand, like, this is my livelihood, this is my business. I employ a lot of people. And like I said, the blessing, people can laugh all they want when it comes to that RDP situation. Hell, I laugh.
This from Pastor Dawn. What's up, Pastor Dawn? Says, girl, I love you. You really know your stuff. And yes, I love that psychologist. I do love me some Dr. Ramani. I only be wanting to listen to people who got, you know, the highest of graduate degrees, because I'm just like, they got to know something. Dr. Ramani is the best.
Shit. I'm like, damn, like, how the hell I get my ass handed to me like that? But when we go back to think about everything and to look and see, like, some of the best lawyers are the best.
This from Stephanie. What's up, Steph? Says, hold up, Steph. Steph says, you got me thinking I'm a narcissist biologically with that one. Well, I hate to say it, but so here's the thing about, and you can go to Dr. Ramani's page, but this is basically what you're going to hear, because all her videos are only 10 minutes, which is fantastic, because you know y'all got short attention spans. So Dr. Ramani, she ain't even gonna hold y'all. She just gonna give y'all 10-minute videos, and they're great. I wish they were an hour long. I love her so much. I wish her videos were like 2, 3, 4 hours long, but she won't even do it like that. But also, if you email Dr. Ramani, she replies back. And if you have a topic you want her to talk about, she will literally email you back and say, yes, it'll be on this video on this day. She did it to me. And I'm pretty sure I still have her email from her and her assistant. And I asked her, I said, what's a vulnerable narcissist? She's like, that's a great question. We did not do it. We did not cover those videos enough. So we're going to shoot out a video on this day. And that was like 2 years ago. So Dr. Ramani is very good at checking emails, honey. And she's very good at asking questions. So a narcissist So, because some people are like, is it nature, is it nurture? Dr. Ramadi believes it's nurture, but in my defense, I think it's nature. Um, uh, I think that because a narcissist narcissistic tendencies can only be taught. Dr. Romney thinks you can be born with them. I think they can only be taught. That's just me. But they have to be taught. The reason why narcissistic personality disorder, right, a mental health disorder that's hard to get rid of, is because you're taught it from birth. So imagine learning how to ride a bike at 2 years old on training wheels, and then you're a 30-year-old adult, and someone says, quit riding bikes, get on this bike and pretend you don't know how to ride it. It's going to be hard. You're like, I just know to move the pedals and it goes. So if someone says, get on this bike and don't ride it or ride it incorrectly, you're going to be like, I can't do that. It's been ingrained in me since 2 years old with training wheels. All I know is how bikes work. So that is how narcissism is. It's because it's one of those psychological disorders that is from birth, right? From the moment the mother holds their child, it is one of the hardest psychological mental health disorders to correct. And the only way to correct it is with intense psychotherapy for the rest of your life. You cannot get rid of narcissistic personality disorder, no matter which one you have, whether it's covert, overt, vulnerable, grandiose, and so on and so forth. They're impossible to get rid of. You have to be on psychoactive drugs and you have to have psychotherapy for the rest of your life. There's no way to get around it. It's not like depression where you can go to therapy for 2 years and be on drugs and be kicked out of it. It's not like bipolar disorder where you can be on drugs and then, keeping a regimen for 5 years and you're just great and you can just continue your drugs without therapy and you're good. It's not a chemical imbalance. So narcissistic personality disorder, baby, is a tough one. And it's so hard to diagnose because most narcissists don't think they need therapy.
Lawyers, because they've lost so many times that they now know how to win. And without the losses, you cannot win shit.
Because you cannot get to the highest of your field, whether you're a scientist or an actress or a doctor or whatever. You can't get to the highest of your industry without being able to cut people off. And in order to cut people off, you have to lack empathy, which all narcissists lack. They lack empathy.
In life, nothing. So I don't care what anybody say. Like, that was the best public.
I'm sure that percentage would be higher if everyone had to go to therapy. You understand what I mean? I'm sure if everyone, let's just say it was a requirement, everyone who turned 18 years old had to do at least 5 days of therapy as an adult, kind of like the armed services in France where everyone has to enlist. I'm pretty sure if everyone had to do at least 5 days of intense psychotherapy when they turned 18 and we got that study done, I promise you about 75% of America would be narcissists.
Humiliation that I could have, asked for. It was the most humbling experience ever for my business, for my personal life, for me as an entrepreneur in general.
Mm-hmm.
How to deal with media, how to deal with just losses, being in the public eye. You know what I'm saying?
I think this is the tail end of the interview. Whew. We made it. Okay.
It's done in a very professional and legal manner. So, and then when they did say that I could intern with a law firm and take the baby bar and then a regular bar just through working with lawyers, I could get it that way too. So I do have some other options because I work 6-7 days a week. I do.
Hold on. I'm going to go back a little.
They was like, why? You're already successful. You're already this. Why do you need to go do this? I'm like, but if I get this, I can really start taking on some very, very high profile. But you already take on high profile. You learn from your lawyers. Can you intern like Kim Kardashian did?
But let me ask you something. Now I got to get off.
She couldn't intern with how Kim Kardashian does because only in the state of California, and I don't think she's a resident of California, only in the state of California, I believe you can work with a judge or with an attorney in order to obfuscate law school and then take the baby bar exam. I think that's only California. And again, California has a 29% pass rate for the bar exam. Because remember, the California bar is one of the toughest bar exams in the world. I got into law school in California. And when I looked at that, I was like, law school's not for me. Law school's not for me. I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Am I going to attempt? I mean, I know I could if I tried and I studied really hard, but there was no way I was going to attempt to take the California bar exam when it has a 29% pass rate. I'd be spending my whole life trying to take the bar.
Yeah, let me ask you something. What will make you happy? And you don't have to answer it here.
No, I know.
What will make me happy? What's going to make Tasha happy?
Like I said, I am a very pure person. That's the reason why I like white. And if I see some stains, I want to clean the stains. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of stains that I feel that I have that I want to clean up. And it'll just make my platform more stronger. Mm-hmm. But there are also other ways that I could do that by partnering with people who have law degrees, who are non-biased, that could really help put together some dynamic stories, whereas, you know, it's done in a very professional and legal manner. So, and then when they did say that I could intern with a law firm and take the baby bar and then, like, you know, a regular bar just through working with lawyers, I could get it that way too. So I do have some other options because, like, I work 6-7 days a week. I do. Today I took a day off, and even this is still working right now because you know, I see everybody live about the Levontre Andrews mother interview, and everybody is like done. Like, okay, y'all, whatever y'all said about Larry, go check the receipts on what the mama had to say, because the mama's
okay. So that's it. That's the end of the interview. Let me get some of your questions. You said less than 1% of the population are true narcissists. Oh, I think I already read that. My bad. I'm sorry. This from Jalen says, Steph, how much longer are you gonna be live? This episode is so juicy. You have me distracted from my homework for my SQL class. What's the SQL class? Is that like coding? I feel like that's a engineer thing. That's from G. Houston says she thinks she's smarter than everyone. I wouldn't say that. I don't think Tasha thinks she's smarter than everyone. But she does. She has devised a plan for this story. I guess part 2 of her series came out today, so I'm gonna watch it today. I'm not gonna watch it on here. I don't have time for TashaK. You said, wait, the mama did an interview. Yes. So last week was Levontre. This week is his mom. Next week is his wife. And then the following week, Levontre is going to interview for the 4th time, for the 4th and final interview. So it's a 4-part series. I hope that makes sense. Kamiko says 136 likes, 500 views. Smash that like button on your way in. We got to get to King Pain's live. It was from yesterday. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. We got to get to King Pain, baby. Because he sat down and did an interview with TashaK. I hope this is it.
Don't worry about going back.
Okay, no, that's not it. Lord, why can't I find this live stream, honey? Where is it? That's my fault. Okay, hold on.
Because they broke out.
Okay, I got it. So here we are going to be watching just a snippet of King Pain's live stream with TashaK. I want to get into it. I just want to hear it. Okay, let me get some of your comments because I think I missed it. Great show. Thank you, Venus. How are you doing today? Stephanie says, love you, Steph. Love you too. You always come with the tea. Look, I do my best. I'm just trying to stay objective. And I'm trying to just analyze the information as it comes. I'm not trying to form my opinions prior to anything. I just want to just get the information out so then I can sit down and form my conclusion. But I appreciate that. This is from Jalen. Oh, I think I read that already. I don't want to get some of your comments. This is from Dr. Carissa says, no, they wouldn't. I'm a board psychiatrist in 3 states. I don't know if you're talking to me or not. I don't know if you're talking to me. Are you talking to me? Did I say something? No, they wouldn't. I don't think you're talking to me. I don't know if you're talking to me or not. This is from Dr. Chris. I'm trying to find your comments, see if you are. It says, like, everyone overuses and misuses trauma bonding and bipolar. Yeah, I think they do. I mean, thank God I'm not either of those things, or I don't have either of those things. I don't trauma bond, and I definitely don't suffer from bipolar disorder. People also use narcissists wrong too, which drives me crazy. They also use gaslighting wrong. Most people don't even realize they're being gaslit, which is insane to me. If you want to know anything about anything that has to do with psychiatric disorders, for the love of God, listen to Dr. Carissa or go to Dr. Romney's page. She breaks it down very perfectly. Narcissistic personality disorder, it's not anything to joke about or take lightly. In my personal opinion and experience, I'm not a narcissist, obviously, but in my personal opinion and experience, you do not want to be on the wrong side of a narcissist. So, oh Lord, but let's get into this because I want to watch this.
Here, but listen, nobody.
Not you talking to 3 different people.
Protect you Matter of fact, you were the one that like you uncovered everything. Because I remember calling you because I was like, why was Conscious TV trying to check me over Larry? Hold on for a second. Okay, over Larry. Like a lawyer that I introduced Larry to. Everybody's under the impression that Larry brought me over. No, Larry called me when Dewey was suing him. Right? It was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need some lawyers. I gave him Olga. Okay. Now he lied to his followers, and now it's gonna come out. He lied to his followers, said that he had to pay $25,000, and he didn't, because the case got reversed on appeal. So all that money that they gave him was reversed, and he got the money back. It was a bond, right? And so I'm trying to figure out like why Conscious TV is like, oh, your lawyer lost the case for my mentor. Like
my man.
And I was like, what? And so I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Did I just get bum rushed on a live with Chelsea, right? I was like, what the fuck is that? So I remember coming into your live randomly, and you were saying at the time that I came in, it was like serendipity. You was like, I don't know why Conscious, I think you said, I don't know why Larry is saying he doesn't know Conscious, because Conscious told me never to talk about Larry because Larry was off limits. Larry had bought him a car, Larry had bought him computers and stuff like that. And I remember calling you. I was like, I hit you in a DM. I was like, yo, what? Larry told me he doesn't know Conscious and he's never met him. So this is where the phone conversation came in. So I jumped on the phone with you and I was like, how did you know this? You said, because Conscious told me this, and I could never talk about Larry because Larry did all these things for Conscious. So I said, well, why would he do all these things for Conscious? And I know Larry buys motherfucker cars because he does it. He's been doing it. This is how he's always done. He's always made transactions for favors.
Mm-hmm. Phones, houses, food.
Everything. $60.
Everything.
The $60 for the sticky icky in the mouth.
Now, and
like,
you admitted that in the video I sent you that that there was a $60 transaction. But he didn't say what for. Levante told us what for. Okay, you don't even have to tell us, Larry. You don't have to say nothing because Levante already told us. Okay, you did that. You did that, brother. You did that. You produced the whole show tonight. Thank you, Bishop Kingpain. Listen, you produced it. I'm telling you. I was like, oh. Just like, oh, wait a minute. And I was even saying your little line, my. Okay.
my. That man was over there shaking. That man was crying on Patreon about the stuff that Levante Andrews said. And he came and confirmed it. And the funniest part was when he shut his own wife down. Wife was like, you was never by yourself. Never by yourself. He was like, hold up. Yes, Levante was telling the truth. I would be in my room by myself, and people would come in there individually by themselves to talk to me and to do whatever.
And engage with me.
And engage with me. And whatever that means for the $60. Now listen, so back to this.
Sorry, I'm back. Now it's interesting because Larry did say that. He did say that. He said that he'd be in his room and people would just come in there and just be bothering him, basically, to get some money out of him. That does not necessitate sexual. Hold on, y'all. Something in my tooth. That does not necessitate. I was eating a burger. That does not necessitate sexual favors. It doesn't. It doesn't. It could. It could be implied. But the question that TashaK has to ask is, then why would he admit it? Because the first thing I'm thinking is he would admit to something like that because he probably didn't think anything was nefarious for people to be knocking on his door, asking him for stuff, bothering him, and him giving them some money. Because Larry was a money man. He was the pastor with the money. You living in his house. He got all the money. Ain't nobody working. So it could be, in Tasha's defense, it could be, you could infer that. But the reason why I wouldn't is because he admitted to it. That's why I would not infer that. The only inferences I would be making is the ones that people don't state. That's the only inference I would be making. The things that people don't state out loud. If someone says, you stole my shoes. And I was like, no, I didn't steal your shoes. Well, that one time I did borrow your sneakers. See, you are a thief. It's like, no, I'm just admitting that I did borrow your sneakers, but doesn't mean I stole this pair. It just means that I borrowed that pair. So when people openly admit to stuff, to me, I feel like it takes away that negation. That's just simple logic.
Phone call. They're saying that you got checked on. Nobody checked you. Nobody checked you. The only person that was getting checked on that call was Larry Reed from me.
That's the way I remember it.
That Larry Reed from me. I said, let me tell you something, nigga. Because I was like, when I called him, I was like, so did you buy a car for Conscious? But you said you didn't know him?
He denied that.
Ooh. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, well, there's this blogger that says Conscious said that you bought him computers and cars, and that's the reason why he was checking me, because I thought it was giving lover energy. Then come to find out, Conscious has been arrested for prostitution and everything, and Larry loves.
So it seems as though their friendship broke up because Conscious was coming after Tasha, and Tasha found out that Larry had bought him a car. Because I think she was trying to figure, I think in her own investigative ways, she was in her defense, she was probably trying to figure out why Conscious was coming after her, which totally makes sense. Why Larry would deny buying it? Because it's his business. But in Tasha's defense, it seems like she was trying to rationalize, why is this person coming after me? In defense of Larry. Oh, Larry's buying him cars. Well, that's why.
In transactions, okay? So I was just like, this is making sense. And I know you buy cars for your people because you bought Shamako cars, okay? You bought Latrice cars. Everybody in the LGBTQ in your circle, you don't bought cars for. So I'm just like, so why? That's why this man, he said that he's raised money for you, all types of stuff. Like, and so he was like, who said that? Because the blogger that said that, I'ma sue them. I said,
I got some other tea for you too.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I'm just going based off of their word.
You know the soccer player?
Oh, wait. I'm trying to click it on here. So I should be slick.
Who is OPK? Who is that? Can you let us know?
But I'm because I'm so exhausted. But and so I was just like, so you gonna sue? So I remember texting you. I was like, yo, Larry talking about he gonna sue you for putting out this, and you was like, sue me? What? And then I was like, yeah, he said because you lied if you put out this.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I personally here on my platform, I don't think that's tea. I just don't. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love pulling up people's criminal histories and things of that nature, right? That's alleged because I never seen I never seen this record. This record, I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. This record here, but I don't think that's tea. I just don't. So I don't talk about stuff like that. Even when people were bringing me the arrest record of the North Carolina Beats over on Facebook, I said, I don't care. I'm not covering it because that's not tea. Everyone has a legal background that they just don't want the world to know. And I just feel like if people rebrand themselves and they bring themselves back into the light and they do good and they're not in the legal spectrum anymore, who are we to judge them for it? Who are we to judge them for it? So them kikiing about it in Conscious TV's defense, that's not tea. That's something that he may not be proud of. And I don't think that's something that people should just be like, oh, you were arrested for prostitution. So what? Did you even ask him why? Maybe he was trying to live. Maybe he was trying to survive, right? So I just don't find that to be tea. I feel like that's a horror story that people should not use against someone.
Story with him buying Conscious cars and stuff, he was gonna sue you. That's what he always say, right? And I was like, well, why would you sue him? Like, well, he coming from our reputation. I was like, oh, okay. So then we all got on no. I think y'all had all.
He contacted Conscious TV because he found out that I'm connected to Armand, and his idea was he was going to get Armand to check me or
Yes. See, I wasn't privy
control
to that.
Me somehow.
I wasn't privy to that. And that's why I had to end up checking Larry, because he was talking big shit while he was on the phone with you and Armand about me. As if I was the one trying to find the information on him to do a story on him. So, and then you told me that he said that he was going to sue me. So he went from saying he was going to sue you to suing me. So I was like, oh yeah, let's get this motherfucker on the phone. So we got Larry Reed on the phone.
Lisa's his ex-wife. I'm sure he misses her.
Mr. Sticky, Icky Mouse, right? And I said, Larry, you said you was going to sue me? Ain't that what I started the call? I said, Larry,
That's
you
how
said
I
you was going to
started.
sue me? He was like, I didn't say that. I just said that if, like, you know, just going all around the question. I said, did you say you was going to sue me? If I was doing a story on you, it wasn't like that. But like, if some allegations are put out that's not true about me being with a man, even though he was with Conscious, because he later came out and admitted it that he was with Conscious TV, and he bought all these things. I was gonna sue, and then you jumped in and was like, well, you did say that. You did say you was gonna sue her. And then I said, well, put Armand on the phone. Because he was I think at that time he was trying to throw Armand under the bus.
Yeah, he was. He said that Armand was just telling him things and such and such, such and such. And you was like, oh, well, if Armand could tell you things about me to make you feel some type of way, then fuck you. I'm done with you. Delete my number, some shit like that. You basically like, you know, I could just cut you off right now. He was like, oh, no, Tasha. No, Tasha.
Please
you know,
don't. You are my sister. No one will ever come in between me and you. You are my sister. I said, nah, fuck you. You talking about you gonna sue, and then you gonna let Armand Wiggins, Bitter Wiggins, like, come tell you about me? And but you, listen, I know that's your friend. Listen.
Now, allegedly, according to Armand, in Armand's defense, Lord, everyone's got a defense tonight. Okay. In Armand's defense, he came to Larry about Tasha because he said that Tasha was attempting to use Kingpain to tell a story about him and Conscious TV. And that, and Armand, you can go see it on his page. He already explained it. He said, in Armand's words, and I quote, Tasha's a dirty, dirty, dirty dog. Allegedly, that's what he said. Okay. So those are his words, end quote. He said Tasha's a dirty, dirty, dirty dog, and you shouldn't trust her. That is why Armand stepped in on behalf of Larry, allegedly, according to Armand, because he said TashaK was attempting to disseminate a story about Larry and Conscious TV, and she was going to have Kingpain do the dissemination of that story. Okay.
But sometimes it's like Armand, he's smart, but he dumb at the same time. Because I'm like, dude, sometimes I be thinking like, you got this, but there's this insecurity and this immaturity that shines through, and it's the shit like this, because I'm just like, he is so like hell bent on taking TashaK down. I don't even talk about that motherfucker. I don't even talk about it. So but the fact that Larry is coming to me saying that Armand is saying all this shit, right? But I'm like, if he can sit up there.
Here's the thing, though, that's the only question I would have for Tasha is it true? Is it true? Were you going to use Kingpain? Were you going to use Kingpain to disseminate a story in regards to Conscious TV and Larry Reed's relationship? That is the only question. Everything else is just kerfuffle.
And tell you all this stuff, then you and him can go to fucking hell, basically. So then
you like get Armand on the phone.
Get Armand on the phone. So we got Armand on the phone. So it's me, you, Armand, and Larry Reed. And I said, and then I started asking about Conscious, and he was like, I don't know Conscious. And then Armand jumped in and was like, hold up. You said, Larry, that you flew Conscious out to meet you. Larry was like, yeah, that time. I forgot. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't know this man. He told me he had never met this man, and he was going to sue me and sue you if we reported that he had any sexual contact with this man.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? And I said, oh.
I think if I got dragged, I'd have a really, really, really hard time kikiing with someone. And that's just personal, right? Like I would just have a hard time kikiing with someone if someone dragged me. But then again, here's my thing. Here's my personal thing. I don't get on the phone with none of these niggas. Okay. I don't do it. I stay in my lane. When I say I stay in my lane, I mean I stay in my lane. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've had a number of bloggers reach out to me in my DMs. You know what I do? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with y'all. You know what I do? I don't open them. And if any of them watching, it's no shade. But y'all messy. Okay, I'm being for real. I'm being for real. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all. I am not playing with y'all. When bloggers reach out to me like, "Oh, we should do a live stream together. Look at this story. You know what I do? I look right at those DMs and I leave them right there. I don't even open them. You're not gonna get the chance. You're not going to get the chance to be like, Steph is a dirty, dirty, dirty dog. Because I am a dirty dog. I'm a dog ass bitch. I'm going to be for real with y'all. So it's just a lot simpler for me just to not engage and just focus on what I focus on and stay in my lane. So I ain't got to account for nobody but me. See, I ain't got to worry about somebody saying, ooh, Steph, you was in the back on the phone keying with this one blogger about this blogger. She got you on recording. You ain't gonna never catch a recording of me saying nothing. Because I mind my business. Okay,
Larry,
it's
said,
that simple.
I cannot be a part of this. Like, you need to lose my number. I'm fucking done with you. Like, we're done. So that's what's the end of our conversation. Then he had the audacity to come out and say that I lied about him telling me that he was gay. And then I posted he made a whole video on it. And then I posted the receipts of him saying, have I sucked a nigga dick? I have. Has a dick sucked me? I have.
And he confirmed that again today on the
Exactly.
Again, we talked about this yesterday. To Larry's defense, it does not matter. And let me get this out. Okay, let me get this out because I saw it in the comments. I was reading it in the comments. Let me get this out. I saw a lot of people in the comments when we were talking about yesterday that talking about someone's sexual preference and sexual nature is not tea. It's not your business. Stop talking about it because it makes you, one, look like a pervert and it makes you look like a homophobe. Okay? There was a ton of people in the comment section like, well, they talking about it on their live stream. Woo. Does not give you credence to talk about it yourself. Okay? I don't care if Larry said he sucked 1 million wing dang doodles. Any person mentioning it with strife or disgust in their voice box is a homophobe. Okay? It don't matter. It don't matter. It does not matter. No one has the right to talk about what Larry says and discusses when he is he's in his 60s, for the love of God, right? He's a grown man. He can talk about his sexual experiences. When you talk about it with a face like this, you're homophobic. And now Black people will overlook that because the Black community is homophobic to begin with. Let's just call a spade, okay? Without arguing. Our communities are incredibly homophobic. So that's why they're allowed to get away with that. That's precisely why they're allowed to get away with it. But it is, and I'll call it out. Is he? Oh, I thought he said he was in the 60s. Y'all, I don't know. All I know is he's an Aquarius.
But he's lied about it so many times. Larry forgets his lies. I don't know. It could be the low T-cell count, maybe. I don't know.
She said it could be the low T-cell count. Insinuating that Larry is HIV positive. It's the fact that she would say that like it's a sly comment, like with no forethought or knowledge or experience on the HIV epidemic. Like, oh, it must be his low T-cell count. That's not even how HIV works. It's the ignorance. for me with TashaK in all these interviews. And the simple fact that she would go around sliding and slandering someone about being HIV positive, knowing that HIV is not a death sentence. Like it's funny. Like that's funny. That's not funny. There's nothing funny about having HIV. And there is zero scientific notion that if you take care of your HIV, that you would have a low T cell count. That is straight ignorance coming from her out of her mouth while her host laughs at it. There's nothing funny about somebody having HIV. And the fact that she's using that as a dig to somebody is even more disgusting. I'm disgusted just having to listen to that. And that our community, the Black community, is co-signing that. When there are millions of people who live with HIV every single day with high T cell counts because they take care of themselves. And I'm not saying this in regard to Larry like he has HIV. He clearly stated he doesn't, so we just have to believe what he says. But it's the simple fact that she would try to use HIV sprinkled with homophobia as a dig to somebody. Just ignorant, and propagating that ignorance in our community again and again and again and again and again. Like it's funny. It's not funny. There's nothing funny about having HIV. And there's nothing funny about spreading disinformation and misinformation about HIV, TashaK. And why you think that's funny and why the ignorant people in that comment section think that's funny is the main reason why Black people don't get themselves checked and are spreading HIV. Because you're making it into something that is incredibly shameful. And then spreading disinformation about it, like having HIV lowers your T cell count. Not when you're taking care of it. Not when you're taking retroactive drugs with it. Like, tell me, where's the joke? Where's the joke? I don't know where the joke is. I've been very fair to TashaK this entire 1 hour and 46-minute live. I've been very fair to her. But I can only be so far fair when you are out here outwardly joking about HIV like it's not a stigma in the homosexual LGBTQAI community, and it's like it's not a stigma in the Black community. That is a stigma. And we should be educating each other, not making it like a slight joke like, your T cell count must be low. That's not funny. There's nothing funny about it. There was nothing funny about that. I didn't find the joke in it. There's nothing funny about it. She has a very large platform, and I am not okay with her spreading misinformation and disinformation about HIV. It's not funny. And it's not funny to label someone as an HIV positive person at all. There's no joke in that. I can't even finish the interview. I want to, but I can't. Because if it's going to be more of that, that's not fair. I'm trying to give her her fairness because in all regards, there is a lot that TashaK is correct about. But what we can't do is just overlook the jokes about HIV. That's not funny. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing funny about it. Like, that. If y'all want to listen to that official kingpain interview, I highly encourage you to listen to it. I'm sure it's going to be full of tea. For one here, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to more of that. I'm not listening to more of that. Whatever TashaK says, let's just keep it fair and balanced and just say whatever she said is fair and balanced, and that is in respect to her. But what I can't do is just allow homophobic and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric and anti-HIV awareness and positive information coming out about HIV on my platform. I can't do that to myself, period. So I encourage you to listen to it. And in all regards to that interview, what I'll label it as, it's fair and a balanced interview. Okay. And that's the last word on that kingpain interview, but I'm not listening to the rest of that because it just makes me feel like it's tearing me up. Like I'm like literally about to cry because it's just so hurtful. It feels hurtful. And I don't even have HIV, you know what I mean? But I do know people who do. And my aunt, who I'm named after, has it. So it really hurts my feelings to hear Black people just like joke begrudgingly about it. Like, at least it must be his low T cell count. That's not funny. I couldn't find the joke, and I'm trying to. So I encourage you, listen to the interview. I'll just label it fair and balanced, and then we'll just call that a day. But let me get some of your comments. I do want to get some of your comments before we go, but absolutely not. Absolutely. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to listen to that. It's just not right. It's just not right, and it's not funny. There's nothing funny and there's nothing right about that. He looks 64. I thought he was in his 60s. Good Lord. Only 44. Yeah. This is from Queen that says she needs I don't want to say that she needs to be sued. I'm just saying in regards to that kingpain interview, I did not like how she held herself. She held herself very well in Daryl Moore's interview. She held herself incredibly well in Wiley's interview. But that kingpain interview, I was and it felt like they have a closer relationship than she does with the other vloggers, but I just did not like that. I didn't know he was a gay man. And again, that's not funny. There's nothing funny about that. I just couldn't find the joke. I couldn't. This is from Mizzy, says, if he says it publicly, we can definitely comment, agree or not. It's our right to discuss with, it's our right to disagree with a lifestyle. Homosexuality is not a lifestyle. Okay. Luxury Black girl aesthetic is a lifestyle. Homosexuality is not. It is something from birth. Again, Larry Reed has never stated he was homosexual. He did state he might be pansexual and in some regards, maybe asexual. And no, you cannot talk about somebody else's sexual preference. You're obviously new here, and I want to be really incredibly kind to you because my blood pressure is up. Okay. Ms. 1979, I'm trying to be really nice to you, but absolutely not. I don't have any moderators over here. Okay. That's why y'all be coming in here saying all kinds of wild shit. I'm telling you right now, please don't get blocked. I really would hate to block you. You seem like a halfway decent human being, but don't call homosexuality a lifestyle because so is heterosexuality. And gay people who are closeted gay do it all the time. They pretend to be straight, knowing good and goddamn well they're probably gay. Okay? So give me a break. This is from Dame Demira Loves Me, says, not insinuating. She said he had it on her live. Yeah, she did. I think she did say that. This from Queen Renee, says, has anyone produced any positive results? No. This is from Tiffany Elite. Says Tasha's always in drama. I don't even know what other drama she's in, but apparently, like, I don't even want to talk about her other drama. I don't even want to talk about that. This is from Calandra, says, if someone says they murdered 7 people, but then says I'm not a murderer, I have to second guess everything they say. That's how I see Larry's comments about his sexual orientation. Here's the thing, Kadra, and I'm gonna be real nice about it. It is not up for you to decide what someone's sexual orientation is. Sexual orientation is fluid. And it's only for you to decide what it is you want to do. You can listen to someone talking about their sexual orientation. You can engage in a conversation about sexual nature and sexual history. What you can't do is have full-blown discussions about somebody else's sexual orientation. The fact that you even fix your lips to write a disgusting comment like this says a lot more about you than it does about Larry Reed. Somebody's sexual orientation is none of your business to be discussing. If somebody wants to talk about their sexual orientation and their sexual preferences on a live stream, in a comment section across Facebook, that is their business. Not yours. He never asked you what your opinions was on his sexual preference. All he did was openly discuss it, and somehow everybody made it their business, which is weird. It's weird. It's weird. So having open discussions about somebody else's sexual orientation not only makes you look like a weirdo, it makes you look like a fucking pervert. Because why are you having conversations about somebody else's sexual orientation? Are you sick or something? Get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. You're missing the fine line. If somebody says, hey, I think I might be pansexual or this sexual or that sexual, that sexual. You're like, okay, Larry, where'd you get that notion from? Tell us about your experience. That is a healthy conversation to have with someone about their sexual orientation. But to tiptoe and tap dance your way into my live stream and be like, well, I don't like the way that Larry has not been able to figure out what his sexual orientation is. What you're engaging in is a conversation without Larry, which you can't do. So anybody in the comment section who decides that they're uncomfortable or I don't understand why Larry has so many different sexual titles and immediately you're a pervert in my brain. You're a sick, degenerate pervert who probably is masturbating at the notion of someone else's sexual orientation. There's no other way around it. Stop talking about other people's sexual orientations, how they came to be, how they discovered themselves. If that person is not in the room, stop talking about it. It's that clear. What part of that are you not getting? Because I'm not asking any of you how your husband fucked you last night. Am I? I'm not, right? Because if I did, it would make me a pervert. So stop having conversations about other people's sexual orientation because you're a pervert. Pervert. Did you get it? You're a pervert. Stop it. Stop. I don't care if it confuses you. If Larry's not in the room, stop talking about it. Stop. The same way that Larry should have never been having a conversation about TashaK's breasts is the same way you should be having a conversation about his sexual orientation. The same way TashaK should be having a conversation about his sexual orientation. Period. They're both wrong. That's credit to the both of them. They're both wrong. And you too. Stop coming in my comment section. Think you're not going to get checked because I've seen you here before. Stop doing that because you all get checked. Stop talking about other people's body parts. Stop talking about other people's sexual orientations because I'm not asking you guys how your husband blows your back out every night. So why are you asking questions about Larry's sexual orientation, especially in here? And if you walk away with this and you go to someone else's live stream, and I see you over in somebody else's live stream talking about other people's sexual orientation or their body parts, you're blocked. And you're an immediate degenerate and sycophant in my head. That's what I would label you as. You're a sick, dirty degenerate. Because I'm not having conversations about Larry's sexual orientation. You know why? Because I'm not a pervert. And I don't care. The same way Larry's not asking about my sexual orientation or who's blowing my back out on Wednesday through Sunday. Stop doing it. You guys are sick in the head and you need help. And you probably are in the wrong live stream. You probably need to make your way to Dr. Ramani because I don't know why you're here. Okay? Stop. Cut it out. Give it a break. If you don't want to be labeled a pervert, you better quit talking about his sexual orientation. I mean that. Because I'm gonna start looking at some of y'all sideways. For real. I'm gonna start looking at some of y'all sideways like y'all sick. And I am. I mean that. I'm gonna judge heavy, like, why are you talking about this? That's weird. You're sick. Like, stop it. Stop. This has gone on too far. And it's happened in too many live streams, okay? It's happened in too many live streams. And I feel like I gotta correct it because I can't. Y'all gonna get me demonetized off of YouTube yelling at y'all, but y'all better quit getting on my nerves with that. This one, Nene Go says, unfortunately, too many people will use a person's sexuality to negate their entire existence, including any positivity that they have achieved throughout their lives. Bingo. Nope, not even when a crime happens. Crime has nothing to do with sexual orientation. It has a lot to do with sexual nature. If the crime is sexual in nature, like rape or aggravated rape, you know what I mean, or child SA, but not their sexual orientation, their sexual nature. I'm gonna get y'all schooled today because y'all came to church. It's Sunday. Y'all, we gonna get schooled today because y'all entangling the two. Because no offense, but y'all been in a bunch of ignorant people's comment sections for the better part of 2 years. So let me gather y'all real quick across these internet streets. Sexual nature and sexual orientation are two different things. Sexual nature is looked at in a crime, not orientation. Okay? Okay? I just want you to know that. Look it up. You look it up, okay? Because I don't know what's been going on. Y'all been hanging out in the shade rooms, homophobic comment section, allegedly. Y'all been hanging out in the baller alerts, homophobic comment section. Y'all been skip scattling and diddly daddling across the internet in all these homophobic comment sections where individuals are just casually talking about people's sexual orientation like it's normal. It's not. Those are perverts, okay? And now you've come here. We don't want to talk about it. Now everybody's offended. Don't be offended. Just understand you have been incredibly exposed to perverts on the internet. That's it. It's not appropriate. It's never been appropriate. What it's been is normalized, and it shouldn't have been. Okay, it's been normalized when it shouldn't have been normalized. All right, I'm not normalizing homophobia on my platform, and I'm definitely not normalizing talking about people's sexual orientation. This from Lizzie Garrett says it's so obvious that Steph is biased and is on Larry Reed's side because I don't want to talk about where he puts his dick. Okay, you said logic over emotions. It's not emotions. It's logical to not talk about where someone puts their penis. Where's the emotion in that? And the fact that you're defending where someone puts their penis means you're a pervert. Has nothing to do with emotions. Has nothing to do with emotions. I don't care what he does with his bodies and his organs. Why do you? What does that have to do with this story? What does that have to do with anything? You have not answered. So you're clearly a degenerate. It's that simple. So take your weird degeneracy to someone else's platform because it doesn't belong here. How clear is that? You want to talk about someone's dick and I don't, but I'm emotional about it. But you're fighting really hard in the comment sections to talk about another man's dick. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Tell me where the sense comes in. When I say, I don't want to talk about somebody's organs. Stephanie, you're emotional. We should be allowed to pull Larry's pants down and talk about his dick. How dare you deny us that? Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Sick. You're sick, Lizzie. You're sick. You're a sick individual and you need help and you're not going to get it here. I'm not a board certified clinical psychologist and nor do I pretend to be one. Okay? But you're a sick individual. All right? Because absolutely not. We are not talking about someone's sexual orientation on this platform at all whatsoever. I'm not going to repeat myself again. If people come into because we're going to be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. If people come back tomorrow and they still think we're going to sit here and kiki about Larry's sexual orientation, we're not going to talk about this case and we're not going to talk about the facts of the case and what TashaK is producing. And we're not going to talk about the inconsistencies and we're not going to talk about the consistencies. And people want to sit here and fight and tussle over what Larry Reed does on the weekends. You're going to get blocked. It's that simple. That is not what we're here for. There is nothing funny about joking about someone having a low T cell count. There's nothing interesting about talking about someone's sexual orientation. Okay? I'm not talking about what's in between Larry's legs and what's in his pants. If you want to fight that hard, go to the comment section of the Shade Room. They love a good homophobic kiki over there. But you're not getting it over here. I want to talk about this story. I don't want to talk about what Larry does in his in the meantime, in between time. Okay? I don't. And nor should anyone else. That's not tea. It's not tea. It's just not tea, you guys. It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay. You want to be on a block team? I ain't got no moderators. I'm about to, but she ain't come back, so I ain't gonna block her. She'll be back. They always come back. They don't be talking about nothing, but they always come back. This is from Susie Jones. What's up, Susie? Says they've been exposed to the mean girl syndrome. Period. Absolutely. Yeah, it's just insane. I'm just so sick of it, y'all. Just stop talking about this. Like, there is nothing there. There's no there when it comes to talking about people's sexual orientation. There's nothing right about it. Okay. There's nothing right about it. It's not normal. We're not going to normalize it here. This from AK says, Steph, honey, what is really wrong? Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm completely fine. There's nothing wrong with my mental health. What's wrong is people attempting to skeet, scattle, and skedaddle into my comment section thinking we're going to normalize talking about people's sexual orientation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me. Who you should be checking is the people in the comment section who think it's normal to talk about people's sexual orientation like it's a normal day on a Monday afternoon. It's not. So instead of worrying about me, because I'm completely fine, check the people in the comments who are being ignorant. That's it. It's that simple. Because I don't mind. I'll check everybody by myself. But what we won't do is normalize making fun of individuals who may or may not have HIV. And what we won't do is have a full-blown conversation about other people's sexual orientation. That's not our business. So I don't need nobody to come in here and check in on me. I've been checking on myself for almost 40 years. I'm going to continue to check in on myself. What you need to do is talk to your aunties and uncles who think it's funny to talk about people who are gay. That's what y'all need to do. Period. Okay. So I'm not the one. I'm not the one y'all need to worry about. I'm not the one you need to worry. You need to go talk to your aunties and uncles. That's who y'all need to talk to. Who normalized making fun of people who are gay? Who normalized spreading misinformation about HIV? There's no such thing as a person who takes retroactive drugs who has HIV, has a low T cell count. Not even possible. You'd be dead. Magic Johnson would have been dead in a week. Okay. Okay. So that's it. We're not talking about that again. What we will be focusing on Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I want to get into CTV. He's been doing live streams all week, and I want to get to some of the tea. Okay, I want to get to some of the tea because everyone has been saying in the comment section that he has the receipts. I just want to see them, hold them real tight, and review them. Okay, that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I don't want to talk about Larry's sexual orientation. I'm not talking about it again, and I'm not listening to nobody else talk about it. I know CTV doesn't talk about it. I've seen in his live, he does not discuss Larry's sexual orientation because he has respect for that. Okay. But so we're going to go to CTV. So next week, CTV. Now we're going to be discussing the other news because apparently Krishan Rock is pregnant. Ciao. Ciao. And other news. Okay. And other news. So we got a lot to get going tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, here at the Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. Make sure you guys smash that like button on your way out. Don't be ignorant. Okay? I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.